As you can see, my 5-minute review sometimes becomes stretched, and some games are just too rich in content. I can't fit it all in for just a simple review. Ghost of Tushima has a lot to talk about. Of the new debut IP for Sony, this game probably left the biggest impression on me. The very thing that made Witcher 3 stand out for me all those years ago when I platinumed that is captured here, from the trees and the plants swaying to the animals chirping and the winding howls. The very essence of a soul in this game and the atmosphere that it creates gives this a living, breathing open world, and it makes you want to explore and uncover everything it has to offer. With the soundtrack and the effects to wash over you, it gives that nice calm vibe and invites you into this stunning created sandbox. And Sucker Punch knows what they've created and confidently push the spectacle to the front with various visual options and an audio range to match that very much leaves you admiring all sorts of aspects of what can be akin to playing in a movie, due to the obvious love they have for Japan and the movie genre that instigates every move and decision made. And I must note, everything recorded here is on a base model PS4. Firstly, Platinum Hunters is another game you can play on easy and enjoy with no missable trophies, and has a fine balance of combat, story and collectible trophies that push you to see most of what Tushima has to offer. I played on medium and I felt this had more of a true feel of what was set out to experience. When I switched to easy, when I was doing the endgame clear up, it just felt it was just stupidly too easy and it broke the illusion of the world, but every gamer has their skill level and this caters to all depending on what you want personally out of this. Beyond the good looks is the combat, and it's a solid gory effort that takes a little getting used to. You start with your sword and eventually you'll earn a bow, some smoke bombs, blow darts, and it's all interchangeable when you hold L2 and any of the D-pad buttons. Meanwhile, as you play, you learn new fight styles to counter the enemy type that comes after you, and this is achieved by holding down R2 and any of the main buttons, triangle, square, etc. It works, but when things get hectic, often I ended up breaking my flow of killing with a fumbled press. Nothing bad, but it takes the moment away at times, sadly. Square is your main attack, triangle is the heavy attack, and L1 blocks and parries. Nothing complicated, but it all chains together as you upgrade your equipment and new ways to kill become available, like ghost mode or a flurry kill. R1 has a throwable weapon, be it throwing knives or setting a sword on fire, so there's plenty of ways to set your fight style and adapt on how you're going to approach the fighting bits. Thankfully, this caters for both the bold and brash killers, with an option to call out your enemy in a tense standoff that results in a bloody game of chicken, or the sneaky stealth types, who can use wind chimes and high rooftops to stealth kill one by one or small groups. You're at no disadvantage either way, and you will favour items accordingly. Stealth is a little less fluid as general combat, but I feel this is maybe more due to the story told and the actual honour of the samurai and how stealth breaks that honour, but you will see my point on that as you play through the game.
Unstoppable. We are 80 samurai against an army, fighting to slow the invasion. Today, I die for my people.
I liked how Tushima integrated the wildlife that gives a nice touch of depth to the world, and what I mean by that is you may find one of several foxes on the island and they will lead you to hidden shrines, or you may see a bright yellow bird who leads you to missions or other important items of worth. Firebugs again even help, and with the limited cleared away HUD they take centre stage in having the island teach you to take note of your surroundings to find all the hidden wonders. It's hard to get lost also, as you can mark a waypoint on your map and a simple flick of the finger on the touchpad will trigger the win that shows you the general direction to go, and it works really well. As you liberate and kill the Mongols and follow helpful creatures, you unlock charms to equip to your sword that give minor benefits, be it health boosts or easier parrying. Armour also isn't for show, as various different sets you uncover gives you different abilities, be it more health or harder to detect, or just uncovering more secret items nearby, and all the armors can be upgraded with the ease of grabbing various supplies that is always dotted around. It's not all ass-kissing though, as with such a game there is always issues and flaws, and thankfully nothing that breaks the game, but does frustrate when deep into the game. The biggest is storytelling. The story is solid and it's intriguing, but sadly it felt that the way it was presented and the way the game revealed itself meant often I was too busy with side missions or exploring that the main plot thread at times felt insignificant, or just jarring. More to do with the attention of myself, but also because the missions jump in quite a big way when I really wanted some more personal moments to see characters fleshed out and take in everything from such a dramatic opening. The flip of the coin though, is the main missions, often big and grand in spectacle, was the main fun and excitement in this game, but led to feeling cheated and disappointed that most side missions were repetitive and underwhelming, and after a while boring, when such a vibrant world needed to be played, in that it felt almost criminal how underutilized this aspect of the game is, considering how great every other component is. I also felt Jin, the main protagonist, though likeable, was very wooden, and not enough of the more impressionable cast given more screen time, like Kenji or Nejiro, who stood out for me personally, but more quirky non-playable characters was needed to shape the world created. A tiny annoyance was the climbing and platform parts. Though solid enough, at times I jumped to my doom frustratingly when what was asked of me wasn't perfect, or it had responded opposite to what I had asked. Very rare, but is still noticeable when everything else so polished works in conjunction with the gameplay and the character. Also noticeable is the camera, and at times it didn't quite swing around in combat to see the majority of the play area, often meaning just one bad guy out of my view. Nothing bad, but when in a badass combo of slaughter, it annoys when you swing into thin air and wildly run in a mini circle to try and regain position to continue free flowing moves, or you get sucker punched from a guy with a spear, or a guy with an archery bow, as they're really annoying at the beginning of the game. It's just a minor niggle, but it is noticeable, but it's nothing that will frustrate and put the pad down. Naturally, it's hard to give anything but 5 out of 5. It does everything so well that often you find yourself taking double takes of the surroundings, or just after cutting through several guys in perfect choreography. It's not perfect, but does everything beyond what most open world games should do, and it gives enough fresh ideas that will be stolen by others. I just wish Khotan Khan, who was brilliant villain, was given more screen time, as he stole the show. But I'll leave you with this scene to end on to reflect and show the great job this dev did. Their work has to be admired. Hope you liked the video, give me a like, feedback and subscribe.